like starting church on time. Well, good morning. I'm Brian Renfro. I'm the president of the National Association of Letter Carriers. I want to start by thanking everyone here that's in the room for joining us. This is our kickoff for the 2024 Letter Carriers Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive. I'd also like to extend a welcome to those that are joining us on the live stream. As many of you know, our food drive is the largest one-day food drive in the country. It impacts millions of people every year. Food banks are hoping to get restocked, and especially for people that experience food insecurity, they depend on this effort to meet their needs. Our food drive has a long and successful history that our union is very proud of. Since it began 32 years ago, we've collected 1.9 billion pounds of food for those in need. That's an incredible number that would not have been possible without the support of many hardworking people. From our customers that we serve every day who leave donations next to their mailboxes, to our members who collect the food on their routes, to the volunteers that help organize donations at food banks, it takes everyone to make the food drive a success. Another crucial key to our impact is the generous support from our partners, many of whom we're fortunate to have with us here this morning. We'll hear from some of them in a few minutes, but first I'd like to sincerely thank them for their ongoing commitment to our food drive. It would not be possible without them, and we're honored once again to have them with us this morning. The food drive is something that is extremely close to letter carriers' hearts, the members of our union. There are very few people that know their communities like we do. We spend every day walking and driving through neighborhoods. We get to know our customers, and we see when the people in our communities are struggling. Every year, this food drive provides yet another opportunity for us to come together and give back to the people in our communities in a meaningful way. While the food drive holds a lot of tradition, in recent years, we've had to make some changes. Like nearly all aspects of our life, our food drive was significantly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2020 and 2021, we were not able to hold the food drive for health and safety reasons. We resumed the food drive in 2022. We held it once again last year in 2023. Prior to the pandemic, we normally collected somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 million pounds of food every year. But over the last 2 years, as we tried to rebound from the impact of the pandemic, we have collected a significantly lower amount, roughly about half of what we collected prior to the pandemic. We all know that despite the difficulty we faced, the need in our communities has not changed. People still need help. So it's more important than ever that we work together to restock America's food banks starting this Saturday. With the support of our partners here today, NALC is committed to rebuilding our food drive totals so that we can continue making a difference in people's lives. And we are hopeful that with the help of all of you, that this year's food drive will be a great success. Before I introduce our partners, I would like to introduce the other NALC national officers that we have in the room. So I would ask those of you that are in the room to stand, please. Paul, you can stand. No, I'm going to introduce you. Stand up. Executive Vice President Paul Barner. Secretary Treasurer Nicole Ryan. And Director of Safety and Health, Manny Peralta. Now on to our partners that I've mentioned a couple of times already. I'd like to recognize a few of our partners that are sitting here up front. So please join me in welcoming the Public Relations Specialist from the United States Postal Service, Lisa Palomore Drummond. From K&R Branding Solutions, Patrick Hanrahan. From Mosaic, Tom Patterson. And from Union Plus, Brea Ellis. We're also, as I mentioned in the opening, live streaming this event, so I know several of our partners that could not be here with us in person are joining us on the live stream. And I'd like to give a big thanks to everyone that's joining us virtually. So how about a round of applause for them? Now we are honored to be joined by several of our partners that we will get to hear from this morning, and we will start with a really long-time supporter of our food drive, and they've really taken the lead in what labor, the community that we live in, has done to support this effort. So it's my pleasure and great honor to introduce my brother, the president of the United Food and Commercial Workers, Brother Mark Perrone.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you for the opportunity to be here today to speak to you. As a union that represents nearly 1 million essential food workers across this country, the members of the United Food and Commercial Workers International Union do in fact witness firsthand every single day the impact of hunger and food insecurity on our population. Many times people come to the check stands and have to put things back because they don't have enough money. At a time where so many issues seem to grab the attention of the public, there's not enough attention that's being paid to food insecurity in this country, and we need to do something about it. It creates so much pain. There are 44 million people that deal with food insecurity. And out of that 44 million people, what I would say to you is 1 in 5 of those, or at least 1 in 5 children are impacted by it as well. And sadly, as we all know, every person in this room knows, food prices have gotten out of hand. The statistics are heartbreaking, and it's a reminder to all of us, even though that we live in the most wealthy nation in the history of the world, that millions upon millions of men, women, and children don't have enough to eat each day. This is not an America that we believe in, but this is an America that we must change. All of us must change. Our commitment, Brian, to make that change is why that we have the partnership with the National Association of Letter Carriers and the Stamp Out Hunger Initiative, and that's why it's so important to us. Since launching it in 1991, now Stamp Out Hunger campaign has become, as Ryan indicated, the largest one-day food drive in the nation. The letter carriers are the tip of the spear in this battle to knock down hunger in this country. It's helped feed and provide hope to so many people. And for 8 years, the UFCW has been proud to partner with NALC. And we're determined once again to do our part this year. And through Brian's leadership and through the efforts of all our union members, this drive is a powerful reminder of how each of us in our respective unions can take positive action to bring about positive change. This year on May 11th, the Stamp Out Hunger campaign will again provide hope through each donation of non-perishable food items, and we are proudly mobilizing our members and our locals to support this worthy cause. On behalf of the United Food and Commercial Workers International Union, I want to sincerely thank you, Brian, for your efforts and your members' efforts, the fact that you're leading, not following. It's often said that small actions bring about big changes, and this drive ultimately proves that. And working together, I'm more hopeful today than ever that we will achieve our shared goal of stamping out hunger whenever and wherever it exists. And Brian, I'll commit to you, we're going to make another $250,000 donation to this project.
And that's over and above what
Thank you, Brother Perone. Your support is always appreciated, and in particular, that additional commitment. Okay, next, it is my honor to introduce the Executive Director of Labor and Trust at CVS Caremark, Jack Garrett.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jack Garrett from CVS Health, coming from Chicago. What a beautiful day we have today in DC. I'm sorry for all the folks on the live stream. Should have been here. It's gorgeous today. I want to thank Brian and all the NALC officers and his staff for allowing CVS to participate again in this year's food drive. It's really important to us as an organization. We're the 6th largest company in the country. Over 300,000 employees, and we believe sincerely in food insecurity. We are a healthcare company, but we know, as all of you know, that you can't really worry about healthcare if you can't put food on the table. So we believe in this. We are, I think, now 25 plus years participating in here, and I want to just share with you what we're doing this year. We're going to make it's not quite a UFCW contribution, but we're going to donate $30,000 on behalf of the food drive to thank you, on behalf of the NALC food drive. And I want to also thank the partners, the rural letter carriers and UFCW and everybody I know. I know most of you, and I really appreciate letting us be a part of your day. In addition, we are kind of coordinating social media outreaches for all of our employees this week back home in Woonsocket. So we're connecting with the food drive social media team and messaging. And then thirdly, as if any of you have wandered into one of our 9,000 stores around the country, you may have heard the announcement. Hopefully you have. They tell me it's playing. Once an hour through all of our stores across the country. And by the way, about 85% of the US population lives within 10 miles of a store. So there's a good chance they're seeing it. So we're playing it once an hour all week this week. Brian graciously recorded this message. We're going to hear it in a minute. So we're playing that. It's about 38 million, what we call impressions. Throughout the week. So hopefully people are listening and they're not staying in our stores for more than an hour because they're going to hear it twice. The IT team back there promised me that they'd have it queued up. If it doesn't work, bear with us, but let's hear, Brian, what we're hearing across the country today.
Hi, I'm Brian Renfro, President of the National Association of Letter Carriers. Please join NALC on Saturday, May 11th for the 32nd annual Stamp Out Hunger Letter Carriers Food Drive, the largest one-day food drive in the country. Today, more than 44 million Americans, including 13 million children, experience food insecurity and rely on food donations. Simply leave a bag of non-perishable food next to your mailbox on Saturday, May 11th, and your letter carrier will handle the rest. Together, we can stamp out hunger in America.
All right, well done, Brian. So again, I want to thank Brian and his team and everybody here for letting us be a small part of this really important event this week and this weekend. We appreciate it, and we too will be involved next year as well, make that commitment as well. So thank you, Brian. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jack. And as always, we partner with CVS in many areas, and we're certainly very appreciative of their support of our food drive, and in particular, our longstanding relationship, Jack, with you. So, and certainly, we're appreciative of that additional commitment. So, how about another round of applause for CVS? Okay, next, I'd like to introduce the Vice President for Global Government Relations at Kellanova, Lauren Bell.
Thanks so much, Brian, and good morning, everyone. I'm so pleased to be here with all of you today representing Kellanova, corporate sponsor of Stamp Out Hunger. As you may know, Kellanova is formerly Kellogg Company, as we underwent a spinoff last fall to separate our North American cereal business. So while Kellanova may be a new company name, what hasn't changed are the brands that our consumers know and love, like Morningstar Farms, Nutri-Grain, Eggo, Waffles, among others. As Kellanova, we're proud to build on the legacy of Kellogg Company through the Better Days Promise, our social and environmental purpose strategy that advances sustainable and equitable access to food. We're setting our ambitions even higher, aiming to create better days for 4 billion people by the end of 2030, in part by feeding those in need. Here in the US, we all know that hunger is real and unfortunately exists in every community. We just heard several of our speakers talk about the statistics, 44 million Americans facing hunger in the US, and 1 in 5 of those being children. Our food banks play such a critical role, but as summer approaches, we all know that donations drop and pantry shelves in our food banks become sparse, leaving families with limited options, especially when kids can't access the meals that they'd usually get at their schools. And so that's why we are so proud to sponsor Stamp Out Hunger for the 6th year in a row. It really is a privilege to be here and to be part of this very special event. We know that hunger is solvable, but only when we work together. And I'm just so heartened to see all of you here and those of you that are watching online. I want to thank the other partners, in particular the letter carriers. They're the real heroes who are positively impacting our communities and really creating better days nationwide. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lauren. We were very pleased several years ago to have then Kellogg's, now Kellanova, come on board, and they have been an outstanding partner. Next, I'd like to introduce the Director of the Department of Labor Engagement at the United Way Worldwide, Urquisha Terry.
Good morning, everyone. So, on behalf of our President and CEO, Angela Williams at United Way Worldwide, I'd like to thank Brian and all of the NALC leadership for not only inviting United Way to be a part of this awesome kickoff again this year, but we're also honored to join you as a national partner of the nation's largest one-day food drive, Stamp Out Hunger. So United Way has been one of the partners from the beginning. And there are several people that I'd like to acknowledge and thank. So really a big thank you to Crystal Smith, who's the national coordinator for the NALC's food drive. Crystal has been extremely masterful in multitasking the work and multitasking the work of the drive and streamlining various processes. So thanks, Crystal, for all of this. United Way is extremely grateful to the letter carriers and the coordinators who use their expertise and their experience to make the drive look super easy. But we all know that there are several moving parts in order to make the drive successful. Last but not least, I'd like to thank the United Way AFL-CIO labor liaisons and labor agencies who help to recruit, promote, and coordinate volunteers to assist on the big day. Addressing hunger and health is a multifaceted issue, and it requires a variety of community and national partners, like many of you who are present here today. And as we aim to elevate awareness through highlighting and promoting the food drive, I just want to call your attention to the fact that food insecurity and the need for food assistance is a growing need in this country. In fact, more than 44 million people and 13 million children struggle with hunger in the US. And most recently, according to United Way Worldwide's 211 Impact Survey, which is collected for all 50 states, they look at the requests that come into our 211 call centers. And the data shows that food assistance remains a top need. And last year, 211 logged 19 million referrals, and food assistance was the third most common need. So we're encouraging the almost 1,000 local United Ways across the United States to mobilize their communities to action. So again, let's make this year another successful Stamp Out Hunger food drive. And again, thank you for allowing us to be a partner and to participate. Have a great day.
Thank you, Akeisha. We have enjoyed a relationship with United Way for a long time, and we're certainly appreciative of their support. But personally, I want to thank you. Akeisha helps us out with all sorts of stuff, so we're appreciative of your friendship and assistance. Next, I'm honored to introduce the president of one of our sister postal unions, the president of the National Rural Letter Carriers Association, my brother Don Maston.
Thank you, Brother Renfro. And as Brian had indicated, since the early 90s, when the NALC started the Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive, over 1.9 billion pounds of food have been collected and provided to those in need across our great country. Our nation has long benefited from the efforts of the NALC Food Drive to provide for individuals and communities who cannot put food on the tables and feed their hungry families. Last year, over 43 million pounds of food were collected and donated. I fully expect that number to increase this year and surpass those efforts. Each year, this noble cause has gained additional partners, and the NRLCA is proud to be longstanding partners with the NALC in this effort. We're also proud to stand with other sister unions, the Postal Service, and all the other organizations who are collectively involved and committed to this mission to provide for those who are less fortunate. We look forward to setting new records for food collected during this year's food drive so it can be a benefit to those who desperately need it the most. We thank you all for being here today as we kick off the 2024 NALC Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive. And Brother Renfro, while the NRLCA can't match the donations from these other unions, we do commit the manpower of over 130,000 of your brothers and sisters out there to help in this noble cause. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Don. And I do want to take the opportunity to thank certainly the rural letter carriers that around the country also participate in picking up food, but also all postal employees, from our brothers and sisters that are members of the APWU, as well as the National Postal Mail Handlers Union, all the managers at the local level that provide support. It really, if you go to any post office in the country on Saturday, you'll see very much a community effort. So it takes a lot more than just the letter carriers to pick up the food, and we're very appreciative of each of them. Once again, thank you so much to all of our partners that have joined us this morning. How about another round of applause? Finally, I'd like to echo what Akeisha said and thank Crystal Smith, who is an assistant to the president for community service, and she is the lead for us here at the NALC headquarters when it comes to the food drive, as well as other things. But She does a lot of work behind the scenes. Certainly all of you partners are familiar with communication with Crystal. We appreciate everything you do to make the food drive run smoothly. So that will conclude this morning's kickoff. Once again, to everyone in the room, thank you so much for joining us. Those that are joining us on the live stream, we're appreciative of you being with us as well. For those that are here physically, outside across the hall, we have a reception set up, and we hope that you will join us there for a little while at the conclusion this morning. Once again, we look forward to everything that we'll accomplish together this year on Saturday, as well as many years into the future. Thank you all.